As a person with a very strong affinity towards video games, since I've been playing video games for almost 15 years now, I still don't get why the term gamer girl is still a buzzword in the community. Sure, there are other stuff like people still justifying that video games cause violence and whatnot, but the market's already saturated. Like, I get it. Gamers are known to be predominantly greasy, least charismatic, basement dwelling males as the media would often depict them. Though joke's on them because people can make money out of playing video games now.
Nice.
There being less girls in the community would be the case if we were in the 2000s. That is when we have a 38% encounter rate of girls in gaming conventions back in 2006. However, according to MediaKicks, the gaming population nearly reached a 1-to-1 ratio between male gamers and female gamers, with the American gaming population being composed of 45% female in 2018, the highest it has ever been, actually. You could say that it's because games are more accessible nowadays with the help of smartphones, since 60% of female gamers play on their mobile phones, and that 33% of them would actually fork in money to gain in game items and loot. Though some would still argue that they are not gamers because it's not considered as true gaming, and to that I say,
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
we could also say that the same phenomenon is happening in the streaming scene as well, with 30% general female audiences tuning in to gaming content on YouTube, while 66% of them do so in order to catch up with trends. With these numbers in mind, you can see that the average consumer for video games are often girls too. So why do people still act differently whenever they encounter actual girls in their games? I guess it has to do with something deeper than just population. So let's look into that, shall we? We really should not forget the history of this community, on how it was previously populated by mostly greasy, least charismatic, basement dwelling. Wait, didn't I do this bit already? Anyways, with that in mind, you can consider that we are psychologically conditioned to think that a generic gamer would be a dude regardless of the stats I presented a while ago. A factor could be due to the fact that you wouldn't really know about your fellow players outside their in game persona. Unless if you ask, of course. That is why most of us assume that we are playing with fellow bros, and be completely surprised whenever we encounter an actual girl in our playthrough. One of the reasons as to why I claim that female gamers are overpowered or OP in the community is because of the potential for these girl gamers to gain a following regardless if they are good or just a noob. Gamers are often single men who do not know how to speak to women, according to media that is. That is why most of the male gamers try to flock around girl gamers once they encounter them, as they would feel happier getting the attention of someone of the opposite gender with the same kind of interest. Some of them would even provide in game gifts such as skins and costumes and whatnot as a form of courtship, or help out their female counterparts when it comes to climbing up the ranking ladder. This is not inherently bad in and of itself, but considering how male gamers would treat each other, the females seems to have a very luxurious experience. On the surface, that is. It is also worth noting that females help make the gaming and streaming industry more marketable and attractive to non gaming viewers, with some of them used as their golden girls, as they would call it, of their respective communities. Though this is not a good thing for these companies, as it would appear that they will only try their best to keep their main girls on top. This sort of issue is very prominent when it comes to Twitch and the infamous streamer known as, okay, excuse me, let me read this real quick. Natalia Alinity Mongolian. Did I say that right? It doesn't matter. An article from Kotaku by Eden Gosh? An article from Kotaku by Eden Gok covered the incident when the said streamer volleyed her cat across the room back in the recent 18th of July. This incident did not really give her a ban, or at least a suspension from the site, despite the numerous numbers of backlash that both she and the site got. It came to the point that even the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, gave the response and was also along the ban alinity wagon. And when even the gamers agree with PETA,
You done messed up!
this is not taking into account the numerous heinous activities she also committed, such as the time she made her cat drink a bit of vodka, which is very poisonous for cats, for those who don't know, And when she fake copy strike claimed a very big YouTube figure known as Felix Pewdiepie Shellberg. On the previous subject, I mentioned that females may have it easier, but of course, nothing in this world is perfect. As some of these girls experience some troublesome stuff, this is potentially only exclusive to them. Some female gamers don't necessarily flaunt the fact that they are girls whenever they play, because most of them just try to make the most of the experience and just enjoy the game like any other gamer would. Except, of course, if they are cloud chasers, which is a whole new different issue. Girl gamers of all types are supposed to be commonplace nowadays, and yet they can still catch the attention of their male counterparts. A notable factor for this would be the situation where they would encounter one. An example of which is by encountering a female gamer on an online shooting game with built-in voice chats like Rainbow Six Siege. With the game being played by mostly male gamers, it would be to no surprise that quite a majority of them would react differently once they heard a girl's voice through their speakers. They would not react the same way, however, if they found out that the only games she knows how to play are the match 3 types such as Candy Crush. This shows that this reaction was not only solely because they found out that the girl was into gaming, but was also into genres targeted to the male demographic. I've watched a series of videos by Spontaneous called Oh My God, a Girl, where she compiles her somewhat comedic experiences as she played Rainbow Six Siege with voice chat on, which is basically something like this.
Okay, guys, I think they placed the bomb in the second floor. Should I try flanking from behind and you guys go through the front?
Wait, is that? You think?
Dude, I think I actually think it's actually real game.
Finally, dude!
Come on, serious? I've never seen one.
Yes. Finally,
Damn, I didn't know fucking girls.
Stop playing Rainbow Six and go back to cleaning the dishes.
Dude, I know, right? Another girl, dude.
See, I know females play this game.
I can use this as a basis for what girls potentially experience when playing multiplayer video games. Once these girls has caught the attention of their male counterparts, whether they intended to or not, they might get a following of predominantly single male gamers added to their internet cloud, regardless of whether or not they are skilled at the game. They would constantly try to get their attention, attempt to get her to add them on their friend list, or even share contacts on their other mediums such as Snapchat or Instagram. They would also get quite sexist remarks and harassment. Even though some are lighthearted and are done for the meme, I can see why girls don't like revealing the fact that they play video games. This is not limited to the game though, as this type of harassment is evident when it comes to Twitch streamers as well. According to the stats shown in Stream Hatchet, female streamers would get low viewership compared to their male counterparts, and yet have relatively high follower count. It may be because most of their viewers are in it for the eye candy and physical attributes, not for the personality and gameplay. The majority of their male audience might only care about how much cleavage they are showing, or how much the streamer is flaunting their assets, and then move to the next streamer once they had their fill. It is also worth noting that according to those same statistics presented by Stream Hatchet, only a few of the top female streamers post actual gaming content. If you try to look at the common words that appear in the chat logs of popular female Twitch streamers, you would encounter words such as boobs, tits, and show. I might still use the same defense that they might be doing it just for fun or for the meme. It still doesn't change the fact that it might be taken in the wrong way and may still be offensive and considered to be harassment. Um, I guess a somewhat personal experience I could share was when I went to an internet cafe with a female friend to play some League of Legends with. Now, my friend is relatively attractive. It's not actually surprising that people would flock around her to watch her play, even though I'm the one carrying, just saying. I'm not salty, you are. People even started inviting her to play with them, and some are even asking for her Facebook info. This really sucks for her because she can't even switch tabs to check her Facebook and other socials without being conscious about her privacy. In all seriousness, I view video games as an interactive art form that helps portray a narrative or experience through interactive methods that has the potential to touch the hearts of all sorts of demographics. Single player games may provide more of a personal and heart to heart experience. It is through multiplayer games that we get the full experience alongside the community. That is why it is important for me to make sure that everyone is not treated badly or unfairly because of circumstances or identity. Maybe someday we'll reach a point where everyone is truly treated equally, despite gender and or identification. It may be a weird dream, but I am an advocate of video games, as it is my passion, and I want everyone else to see it the way I do. Also, I would like to shout out some awesome people who helped me out with the voiceovers. Lemonite, Spooky Hunter Back 21, Z, and of course, the comic universe. You guys are awesome. That's all for me. Thank you so much for watching.